Hey y'all, and welcome back to the channel. To my subbies, thank you for staying subscribed. If you're passing by, I hope this content is good enough for you to subscribe. And if you're seeing me for the first time, hey there, I'm Miss Lukas, a Namibian based in Nairobi, Kenya, and I would really appreciate if you can comment, like, and share this video. Most importantly, please subscribe as it helps grow this community. Today, I would like to thank you all for showing me the love and appreciation in my last video, which is a continuation of today's video. Last week Friday, I posted on here a video titled Kenya Unveiled 10 Benefits of Living in Kenya as an Expat. I'll link it up above here. If you didn't watch that video, please pause this video, go watch that video, and then you come back to this one. So in that video, I just looked at 10 reasons why I love living in Kenya as an expat, and I detailed everything, so please watch that video. And in the comment section, actually you guys gave me a green light to go ahead and do a second video, which are the negatives of living in Kenya as an expat, and that's what we'll be looking on in today's video. So without further ado, let's get into the video. As mentioned in my previous video, for me, living in Kenya, the good outweighs the bad. That's why in today's video, I'm just going to give 7 not so good reasons of living in Kenya, or the ones that I personally experienced living in Kenya as an expat, simply because if I have to give 10 negatives, then I have to go back to the drawing board and give more benefits, because for me, the good outweighs the bad, as mentioned. So yeah, I'm just going to stick to 7 in this video. Also note, since I moved to Kenya, which was 6 months ago, I've just been living in Nairobi. I visited Diani for a vacation. It was so brief. I haven't visited other parts of Kenya. Kenya is so big. In this video and the previous one, I'm actually just mentioning things that I see happening in Nairobi. I haven't been to other counties yet, but I'm curious and I'm excited. I think I'll be doing some towns here and there. If you're Kenyan, please comment in the section down below. Recommend some places that I can visit, be it towns, activities that I can also do there, because I will be doing some of them. I'm curious to know and visit other parts of Kenya, so let me know in the comment section, yeah? The first not so good reason about living in Kenya as an expat, especially if you are dark skinned and you're not Mzungu, people will speak to you in Swahili. They will assume you understand Swahili. In supermarkets, in official places, everywhere you go, people will first greet you or speak to you in Swahili. But at least when you tell them that you don't speak Swahili, they'll switch to English without mishap. And that is a beauty, because they have 2 official languages, which is English and Swahili. So, but the first impression that you'll get is mostly Swahili. You'll be spoken to in Swahili. Yeah. 2 weeks ago, I was in Tanzania, and I think it was even worse in Tanzania because most people don't speak English. I think Swahili is the official language in Tanzania. People speak Swahili more than English in Tanzania, but in Kenya at least they do both languages. But I'm also looking at it on the good light, seeing that the African Union has adopted Swahili as a working language. So in the next 5 to 10 years, Swahili will be an official language in most African countries. I look at this as an opportunity for me to learn Swahili. So if you don't know how to speak Swahili, learn the basics at least. Very, very important. If you're coming to Kenya, at least get Duolingo on your phone. Know the basics at least to get you from point A to point B. They'll come in handy, but otherwise, people will speak to you in Swahili. They will assume you understand or speak Swahili. The second not so good reason that I get to experience living as an expat in Kenya are the roads. Roads are not so good, honestly. Namibia has been topping as the country with the best roads in Africa. So for me, roads, the bar is already set up there, because coming from back home, the roads are good. I expect roads just to be good because that's what I'm used to, right? Even though it's not the case. I mean, yeah, we all can't be the same. Right now is rainy season in Kenya, and we're seeing a lot of flood due to the fact that roads do not have drainage systems. And obviously due to traffic, because some roads are busier than the others, there are a lot of pit holes in the road. I've never seen some of these roads being fixed that are busy. For instance, the Wayaki Way, just the road below the Wayaki Way, that one. Guys, I've been on that road. I've seen a lot of pit holes on that road, and ever since I came, as much as I've seen the pit holes, I haven't seen like any construction company trying to maintain, or because also there's no time to fix them because most of the time the road is busy. So I get it, but I also don't get it. You get? And there's one specific road that I passed by last week Friday. It had manholes inside the road. I don't know which engineer was there and constructed manholes inside the road, because they could have at least been on the side of the road or something. The manholes were inside the road. I'm not saying all manholes are inside the roads of Nairobi. I'm saying this specific road has manholes, and it's not just one manhole. It's like maybe 4 to 5 manholes within a 500-meter distance after each other. That one really shook me because I don't understand why manholes are in the road. While we're still at roads, borders here, guys, ungovernable. First of all, they don't follow traffic lights. They are always in a rush. I think for 2 times a border literally just passed close to me. It's not even on the road. I was on the pavement, guys. This border came on the pavement because it doesn't want to go on the road. The only accident that I've seen in Nairobi involved actually a border. Like borders, no. I think there's something that must be done about them, because when I went to Kigali in January, I actually saw a different aspect of borders, because that was actually my first time on the border. I made sure that I tried a border in Kigali, because firstly, they follow traffic lights. Secondly, everyone wears helmets, even the passengers, and at least there's a sense of security and safety. I feel like if the Kenyan government can adopt what the Rwandese government is doing, the borders would be better, or would at least be governable, because right now, no. Traffic lights, they don't follow. Guys, those ones, they just stress me. Borders stress me. I do, however, want to acknowledge the government for putting up express ways, which are actually faster, more convenient, and don't have much traffic, especially when you're going to the airport. Expressways really come in handy. That's a very big thumbs up to the Kenyan government for that, initiative. Now for me, already experiencing these so many pit holes in Nairobi, I'm not confident to drive from, say for instance, Nairobi to another town. I would rather opt to fly or take the SGR, which is the train. I would rather opt for that. Or maybe the roads are different in other cities. Guys, let me know, because the ones that I've experienced in Nairobi, and it's actually the busy ones, they are not so good at all. They're literally turning into gravel roads. So but I would rather go with a flight to another city, because comparing flights to Namibia, domestic flights here are actually affordable. Say for instance, when I went to Diani, my return ticket was 2,000 shillings. Converting it to Namibian dollars would be around 2,600 Namibian dollars. Now, if you're from Namibia, you know this is a bargain, because domestic flights in Namibia are very, very expensive. A domestic flight that is 45 to an hour, the same as the Diani one, which in the Namibian case would be coming from Windhoek to Ondangwa, you would literally pay around about 5,000 Namibian dollars, which converting to Kenyan shillings would be about 50,000 Kenyan shillings. So you see the difference, right? So I would rather take the flight, because I know it's faster and I'm not going to be worried about the road, than go on the road and see how the road looks like. My next trip, especially if I'm going to the coast, maybe Mombasa and whatnot, I'll definitely want to try the SGR. The third not so good thing about living in Kenya, I don't even know why I'm smiling while I'm talking about the not so good things. In this aspect is the traffic jam, just related to point number 2. Traffic jam is unavoidable, especially in Nairobi, and you need to make peace with it. Guys, I'm coming from a population of 3 million The whole country is 3 million. And then I'm here settled in Nairobi. Nairobi alone is 5 million. When I came, everyone was telling me to be prepared. When you come in the city, you obviously feel it. Right now, I'm so used to the traffic jam. It's been 6 months. I'm over it. I'm literally a local now, so I don't feel the traffic anymore. In fact, the traffic has taught me patience. I'm more patient with anything. Back home, I do not wait. You guys saw the traffic lights that I shared in the first video. I just realized that actually there are not a lot of traffic lights in Kenya. Especially the busy roads, they prefer roundabouts. And for some reason, the roundabouts actually work. Because as mentioned, I haven't seen accidents besides that border one. Just a heads up to fellow pedestrians. If you're a pedestrian, you are coming to Kenya for the first time, Nairobi to be specific, and you dial an Uber, or the Uber driver will call you. Every time I request an Uber, the driver will call me. As much as they have the directions to come to me, they'll still call me and they'll ask, "Uko wapi?" And they'll ask me if I'm doing cash payment or if I'm doing card payment. They just want to know. I actually had a conversation with one of the Uber drivers and just asked them, like, why do you guys like calling your passengers? And he told me that apparently the Uber app here for drivers, it just shows the driver where they're picking up the passengers. So that's why they prefer calling and asking all these questions. But even if they know where they're picking up the passenger, they'll still call you to make sure. I used to get annoyed, honestly, because I was just like, no, why am I being called? I know I take a lot of Ubers in SA. I don't get called like that. The drivers would just come to me. But here, be guaranteed that Uber drivers will call you. They will call you. Yeah, I'm not bothered by it anymore, but like I said, it used to annoy me. The 4 not so good reason about living in Kenya as an expat, it's the fact that the dollar fluctuates. The Namibian dollar is a one-on-one with the South African rand, and I tell you, for the past, I don't know, 5 to 6 years, the US dollar has been equating to 18 Namibian dollars, and it goes up until 19. That's the only time. It's literally 18 or 19, like $1 difference. But here, 1 month, the dollar is equating to 130 shillings. The another month, it's 140 shillings. The other month, it's 170, it 160. Like, it always fluctuates. In fact, not even months. It fluctuates in weeks, guys. So especially if you are an expat and maybe you have to send money home or you get your money in US dollars, your budgeting might get mixed up because the dollar is never stable. It always fluctuates. So that is a downfall that I actually don't like. This aspect is just not good. I think even for locals that are doing business, maybe importing, exporting, it obviously affects them. This part, I do not like it at all. I didn't sign up for this one at all. The 5th not so good reason about living in Kenya for me, this one is a shook, is the security search. When you go to malls, you get searched. In your bag, in fact, even your phone, you have to leave it and then you have to pass through the security section and then you get searched. Now, I look at Namibia as most Southern African countries. I think it's also because there's not a lot of security threat in the Southern African part. Not that we're inviting any security threat, but you'd go in SA, you'd go in Namibia, most Southern African countries, they don't have this even at the biggest malls, right? So for me, I'm used to it now, but yeah. You get searched when you go to malls, you get searched when you go to offices. Every public space, you will be searched. And I also understand because there have been a lot of bombings in the past, I don't know, some few years ago, even in the capital cities. So they're actually trying to take extra precautions by searching people, which is good. But it's just that we are not used to being searched. But I've also been to West African countries and they do that as well. I know in Senegal they did search me. If you're coming from a country that doesn't do security search, be prepared because you'll be searched here if you're going to public spaces. Yeah. The 6th not so good thing about living in Kenya as an expat, especially when it comes to house hunting, there are just some things that I got to experience when I came to Kenya. Firstly, it's the 2 months deposit. This concept, I still don't understand it at all. Most apartments will ask you for a 2 months deposit. So before you move into the apartment, you need to pay 2 months deposit with 1 month rent. That is rent times 3 before you actually get into the apartment. I mean, we also do deposits back home, but we do 1 month's deposit. So I don't understand the 2 month one. There are a few places that will give you a 1 month deposit. Most places are asking for 2 months deposit. Like right now, I'm actually apartment hunting. Just thinking about moving is already draining. Then the other aspect is the viewing fee, which I also still don't understand. So the viewing fee is if you get an agent and they take you to view an apartment, you're supposed to pay them 1,000 shilling. Now, I don't understand this as well because, I mean, isn't this part of their job? Like, why am I paying someone what they're already getting paid? They're also maybe going to be paid by the property manager, but they're still asking for 1,000 shillings. Now, it's not every agent that asks for 1,000 shillings because I know the agent that got me this apartment, I didn't pay 1,000 shilling. But like this week, I had to view another apartment and the lady asked me for 1,000 shilling. And sometimes they would assume, you know, because I know last week I went to view an apartment and after viewing, the guy was like, by the way, you are supposed to pay me. And it's like, but aren't you supposed to communicate? So yeah, just be on the lookout. This is mostly for long-term stay, especially for short stays. I think you just pay for the days that you are supposed to stay there. When you're apartment or house hunting, make sure that you get a place with a backup generator. I mean, there's no load shedding, but like right now it's rainy season and powers can be faulty any minute. So you need a backup generator. Just make sure that you get into a place that has a backup generator. It will save you a lot. Otherwise, you'll be in the dark. And you wouldn't want to do that, especially if you are an expat foreigner. You want your safety to be priority. So yeah, just some tips that you need to get in order when you're looking for an apartment for either short-term or long-term. The 7th and final reason that I do not like about living in Kenya as an expat is the fact that there's a lot of counterfeits in the market. Now hear me guys, there are counterfeits everywhere. That's why you have Chinatown back home and stuff like that. Especially with clothing, you can tell at least with quality and prices that this is fake, this is original and stuff like that. Now here it gets to a point where counterfeit is actually even more common in alcohol. Like liquor, you can buy from a supermarket and it's a counterfeit drink. Last week I actually posted on my Instagram, I was trying out this local cider. It's called Kenyan Original, KO in short. And most of the comments that I got there were like, be careful. I don't understand why there are counterfeits of alcohol. At least with clothes I can understand. Alcohol, like how did you come to that point? That one just shooks me because now I'm even more afraid to drink outside the house because I'm just like, I mean, I'm usually a home girly, but I'm living on the edge when it comes to alcohol. No guys, this one I don't like. I'm not liking it at all because I want to enjoy my liquor. But at least for me, my employer has a commissary where you can buy drinks and food. Going forward, especially when it comes to alcohol, I would rather be buying from the commissary than local supermarkets because you just never know. I've decided to add a bonus point also on the not so good things about living in Kenya, and this one is specifically when you're a Namibian, which is the fact that we do not have an embassy in Kenya. However, the High Commission in Tanzania is also responsible for Kenya, so that's the only option that we have. Honestly, Kenya is the capital of Africa. Everything is happening in Kenya. There's really a need to have representation in Kenya, but that is not so good. But for Kenyans, firstly, there's a big Kenyan High Commission in Windhoek, and you guys should visit Namibia because it's actually visa-free. The actual visa-free for Kenyans. So please make time to visit Namibia. Go and see where the desert meets the ocean. The landscape there is so nice. So visit Namibia, please. If you guys are visiting Namibia and you need recommendation of places, reach out to me. I'll be able to link you up with the right people or suggest some places to you. If you're watching up until now, thank you. We've come to the end of this video. I know some people wanted me to speak about things like corruption in Kenya, and I just felt like I could not speak about corruption in Kenya because corruption is also happening in Namibia. It's literally a disease in Africa. I just could not speak about that because, like they say, you need to sweep your house before you go sweep the streets. I don't even know the corruption cases happening here. I hope you guys enjoyed today's video. I tried to be respectful as possible. Someone said I should be respectful. I did. And I would also appreciate if you are going to comment on this video. Please be respectful. Respectful is reciprocal. It should be a two-way street. I would really appreciate from you that. If you're coming to Kenya for the first time, I hope this video is helpful just for you to be alert, not to scare you. There's no perfect world out there. You just need to be vigilant, be street smart. I think those are the tips I would say. But again, thank you guys for watching this video. I post on here every Friday. Also give me suggestions in terms of the videos that you guys want to see mostly on. I know it's rainy season. I don't think I can really be outside most because the rain here is unpredictable. It can come like in an hour's time, 30 minutes. So I am trying to be indoors, but I also try to do outdoors activities. So I think next week Friday I'll have a vlog up and stuff. Please follow me on Instagram. It's Miss Lukas. My handle should be somewhere up here because I post a lot on there. I'll see you guys next week Friday. Love, Miss Lukas.